Right. I think the whole bankruptcy story went away a long time ago, but I don't think that's the problem. The fundamental problem is I think the way that we look at Tesla is more like BlackBerry before the iPhone came out.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So here at Solving the Money Problem, we're an equal opportunity YouTube channel. This means that occasionally I'll react and share my thoughts and opinions on so-called analysts whose IQs are lower than their Tesla stock price target. Of course, I'm definitely not talking about Gordon Genius Class Clown Johnson because I personally believe Gordon's actually a rather intelligent guy, potentially with ulterior motives. Maybe he has an intense humiliation fetish. Maybe he's an oil shill. I didn't say that. I'm just thinking out loud, Yeah, so anyway, let's get into the video. But first, hey guys, if you live in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 4 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 2 free stocks between $2.50 and $250 each just for opening an account. And if you deposit $100, you'll get a further 2 free stocks valued between $8 and $1,600 each. That is an obnoxiously good return on your investment. I mean, really, deposit $100 and you'll end up with, at minimum, $21 worth of stocks, a 21% ROI on your money. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Tesla starts trading in the S&P 500 today, and with a market cap of over $600 billion, it will account for more than 1% of the index. Shares have surged more than 60% in the month since it was announced that it would be included in the index. Joining us right now is Gordon Johnson, GLJ Research CEO and founder. And Gordon, you've been a bear on this stock for a long time. What do you think today as it heads into the S&P 500?
Yes, so thanks for having me, guys. I think that essentially you've had 2 major catalysts over the past several months. You had a stock split, which essentially is just taking a 4 slices of pizza and turning it into 8, and the S&P inclusion. But here's the problem for Tesla. With the S&P inclusion, you're going to have more scrutiny.
So tactic number 1 from Gordon Johnson here, suggest and imply things without directly saying it. For example, with Tesla's stock now being included in the S&P 500, there's going to be more scrutiny. Scrutiny about what, Gordon? Are you implying that if there's more scrutiny, there will be problems found? Saying something without saying it. Very cheap tactic.
So what's happened recently? Well, we know that their market share in Europe has went from about 33% to just over 10% Q4 to Q3. Their market share in China thus far this year has went from 25% to now 12.5% from the beginning of this year to essentially now, the most recent month.
Since I briefly touched on IQ variability at the beginning of the video, I may as well continue the theme and present you guys now with an IQ test. Are you ready? What matters to Tesla? What's the most important metric in terms of sales of their products? Total global sales of their products, as in how many products they're selling on planet Earth and maybe in the future other planets, or a subset of their sales in a particular region that doesn't actually tell you anything about their total sales of their products globally on this planet. Which of those matters? This is an IQ test. There's only one intelligent answer to this question. I'm sorry to say it so bluntly, but they're the fucking facts. Which matters? Now, if you can't figure it out, I'm sorry. The bell curve exists. I mean, we didn't pick our genes, so bad luck on that one. I'll tell you the answer. Global vehicle sales. Global product sales. That's what matters. That's the only thing that matters. You see, Tesla currently has factories on 2 continents producing vehicles. They have to ship them all over the world. They're going to be very lumpy month on month, quarter over quarter, depending on where you are. And of course, if somebody launches a new product in a new market, a few fanboys that are brand loyal to this particular brand, you may see very inflated sales of this new suboptimal, subpar, poor quality electric vehicle, looking like it's competing with and destroying Tesla sales in that market very temporarily. Because, for example, let's just say VW releases a new electric vehicle in Europe. Lots of VW fanboys and fangirls decide to wait for this vehicle. They buy it in the first month, 2 or 3, maybe the first quarter or 2. This doesn't indicate that Tesla sales are collapsing, nor that they're losing share of any markets at all. This tells you nothing whatsoever about Tesla. What tells you about Tesla is their total sales of their products all around this planet called Earth.
And we know that in the US, when you have 52 new EVs coming next year, competition is going to increase. So when Tesla has seen competition, you've seen a significant drop in their market share. And I think people are going to be more focused on that as there's more scrutiny looked upon the stock.
So just one final point on market share, just a hypothetical question. If Tesla hypothetically continues to increase the numbers of vehicles it's both producing and selling on planet Earth, does it matter what happens to their market share of EVs or vehicles or sedans or whatever the fuck you want to pick? Does it matter if their market share is changing, declining or increasing in bumfuck nowhere or Timbuktu if Tesla continues to increase the numbers of vehicles it's both producing and selling on Earth? Once again, the answer would be no.
You know, you've thought that for quite a while, and as we just mentioned, it's up 60% in the last month. There have been people who have been critical of Tesla for a very long time, and it has defied all odds. What makes you think that there's going to be something that actually makes people reevaluate it at this point?
Now, I have a very unscientific hunch that Becky, asking these questions of Gordon, knows he's full of shit. Look at the body language. She's got her arms folded, very skeptical look on her face, knows this clown has been completely fucking wrong on Tesla for literally years. Is probably wondering in the back of the head, why do the producers keep inviting this moron back?
Well, that's a good question. So when you look at Tesla, right, if you take a step back, I think that the general viewpoint is that they're a leader in technology. But if you look at their the key, I guess, remnants of that technology, number one, if you look at batteries, they don't make their own batteries. They buy batteries from Panasonic, CATL, and LG. Anybody can buy those batteries.
So let's just pretend that Tesla didn't hold their battery Invest Day earlier this year and lay out the roadmap for developing their own cells and more than halving the cost of batteries within a few years. Never mind the fact that Elon Musk has since confirmed that those cells are already going to be produced and will be in the Tesla Made in Berlin Model Ys at launch. Never mind any of that. Let's take these comments at face value. Yes, Tesla currently buys its battery cells from other suppliers. Once these cells come to Tesla, that's where the magic happens. Integrating these into modules, into packs, then into the vehicle, then thermally managing these with software. This is where the magic happens. That's why, despite Tesla using the same cells as other automotive manufacturers, they're somehow able to get far more range from their vehicles, which are far more efficient and go far further on the same amount of battery. Why? Oh, well, Tesla must have something special and unique there, Gordon.
Look at their manufacturing.
Oh, I certainly have been looking at Tesla's manufacturing, Gordon. Those who've been watching the channel for a while will certainly know that I can back this up with facts. I've probably produced about 10 to 15 videos featuring comments on Tesla's engineering, specifically with the automotive expert of experts, Sandy Munro, sharing his thoughts. He knows manufacturing in the automotive industry better than anyone else, and he is stunned and blown away by Tesla's progress. They are leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else in the industry, period. Whether we're talking about enormous innovations like the heat pump, octovalve, or the gigantic gigacasting, let's just ignore all this stuff, Gordon, and pretend that Tesla has no manufacturing capabilities. They don't have any advantage there either. No battery technology advantage despite the much further range. No manufacturing advantages despite inventing these new techniques, new alloys, all kinds of things to speed up, cheapen and improve the manufacturing. Yep, let's just ignore all that. What else have you got for us, Gordon?
Consumer Reports recently ranked them second to last out of 26 cars due to the performance and quality of their cars. And then you look at full self-drive. Navigant ranks them dead last.
Oh, you nearly got me there, Gordon, except no, you didn't. Already debunked. Next.
We know that Waymo and Cruise currently have cars on the road without people in the driver's seat, driving around, picking people up, full self-drive technology.
You hear that? Waymo is ahead of I can't even. Yes, Waymo clearly ahead of Tesla. Now, for those of you that don't understand, I just want to make the distinction here. Tesla is developing a generalized solution for fully autonomous vehicles. Waymo and Cruise are developing full self-driving vehicles that can operate in a sandpit with training wheels, okay, in a geo-fenced, pre-mapped area. This is not the same thing. Yes, within the Phoenix area in Arizona, you can actually get a fully autonomous driverless vehicle, but if you pick that vehicle up and drop it outside the little geo-fenced area, its little playground, it is a death machine and it will kill people because it can't drive outside those areas. This is a major distinction, okay? Tesla is developing a general solution where you could literally pick up a Tesla, put it down on any road on planet Earth. Once this is solved, and it'll be able to drive you safely point to point. This is a very distinct thing, okay? It might look like Waymo or Cruise are ahead of Tesla. if you don't actually think. And I know the thinking part hurts, and this is why Gordon can say these kind of things and actually convince some of the genius basement-dwelling adult virgins over at Tesla Q that Tesla's full self-driving isn't miles, literally miles, see what I did there, ahead of everyone else. Next.
Whereas Tesla, which is level 2, person has to be in the car, person has to be in the driver's seat. So I think as, again, you have more scrutiny on the stock. And most importantly, just as important as everything else, next year when those credit sales, right? Over the past, since they've been a company, only 4 quarters have they been profitable, excluding credit sales, the most recent of which was 3Q19. Those credit sales are going to drop away next year as other automakers start selling EVs. So when their earnings potentially turn negative again as those credit sales go away, again, I think the scrutiny on the stock is going to pick up significantly.
That may be the case, but this company is now very well financed. Elon Musk himself has recognized that the market could turn at any point, and even sent a note to his employees telling them to make sure they were careful, not being wasteful in their spending, because the market has given them the benefit of the doubt. He knows that might turn at some point, but they now have the funding that they've built up by selling additional shares at these incredibly high prices, or higher prices than it had been, that they're not going to be facing the same difficulties that they might have a year ago if they didn't have, that cushion that they've already very clearly developed.
Once again, Becky's body language saying plenty without words needing to be spoken. Look at that head shake towards the end of the question there.
Right. I think the whole bankruptcy story went away a long time ago, but I don't think that's the problem. The fundamental problem is, I think the way that we look at Tesla is more like BlackBerry before the iPhone came out.
Right, so Gordon, let me get this straight. Teslas are the BlackBerry, in your opinion. Meanwhile, everyone else is referring to Teslas as an iPhone on wheels and referencing internal combustion engine vehicles as the BlackBerries. Well, you're entitled to your own opinion, if it is your opinion.
Right, Tesla was essentially had a monopoly on the EV space. And again, without those government-assisted credit sales, they've lost money in almost every quarter they've been around. So it's not an issue of do they have cash. I think any company can raise money right now. In fact, Hertz was bankrupt and almost raised money. So I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is, are they growing revenues?
Yes, they are growing revenues.
Are they the leader in EVs?
Yes. Even Volkswagen agree. So do the numbers. Tesla's producing more electric vehicles than any other company on the planet. Next.
Are they taking market share?
Yes, they are taking global vehicle market share, hence increasing sales year over year over year over year.
And do they have a business that actually generates positive cash flow?
Yes. Do we just ignore the last 5 consecutive quarterly profits, Gordon? Next.
Do they have a company, a business that makes money?
Notice the trickery going on here. Gordon is asking and framing these questions as if to imply and insinuate the answer is no, when it takes 2 milliseconds to verify that the answer to every one of these questions thus far has been yes. Gordon, the only people you're fooling are the Tesla Q dummies.
No matter how much money they have, if they're selling cars at a loss and they're losing market share to guys like Audi and the Porsche Taycan, keep in mind, the Model S and X are no longer the world's top selling EV electric vehicle luxury car. If you look at in the fourth quarter so far, the ID3 has outsold the Model 3 in Europe. So you've seen them lose these mantles of being the best and the biggest.
No, Gordon, there isn't a mentally sound person on earth who would believe what you're saying here. These are verifiable facts. Tesla is producing more electric vehicles than any other company is. The numbers are there. This is a verifiable fact. So they are the biggest. As for the best, I mean, geez, what are some data points we could consider to verify whether or not Tesla is producing the best vehicles? Maybe we'll look at the specifications. Tesla wins on that front. Maybe we look at the fanatical people that actually buy the products and then become evangelists because they're so great. They just rant and rave to everyone who listen and plenty of people who won't. The fact that Tesla doesn't spend any money on advertising because the products are so good they sell themselves. The fact that there's people like me dedicating their entire fucking life to explaining and proselytizing about Tesla, the company, the benefits, how far ahead they are of the competition, etc. I mean, what metric do you want to use to measure whether or not Tesla is the best? Now sure, maybe there's an exception. Somebody likes the aesthetic of a different vehicle. But in terms of value and the consensus opinion, there is no question. Tesla is in a race of one. They are the best. They're an enormous leader on everything that matters. Every data point you look at will back this up.
And I don't think it's a matter of money. I think it's a matter of, does their business actually make money?
Well, I've got to hand it to the class clown here. His tactics and techniques have evolved and become slightly more sophisticated. Rather than implying, suggesting, or straight up lying and misleading, much better to just infer, to sort of suggest that the answer to your question is no, when anybody who's willing to do 3 microseconds of homework will discover that the answer is yes. Well played, Gordon. Your sophistication is impressive. Now I've just got to ask the question, so let me know in the comments below. Do you honestly, genuinely think that Gordon Johnson believes the things he's saying about Tesla and Tesla stock? Or is there an alternative explanation? Just thinking out loud here, not making any allegations, just having a bit of a hallucination, happens sometimes when you smoke as much weed as I do. Is it possible there's an ulterior motive? Maybe he's a paid oil shill? Again, just thinking out loud here. Possibly a short puppet? Something along those lines. Again, I'm just thinking out loud, but I'd love to know what you guys believe.
And again, when I think scrutiny is put on them, and people don't look at these things like S&P inclusion and stock split, and they start to look at their actual business of selling cars, I think that you could see some significant selling in the stock. Because what's the next catalyst?
Well, that's a really good question, Gordon. What is the next catalyst? Full self-driving, wide release, the Model Y in China, the Berlin factory construction being completed, the Austin factory construction being completed, the 4680 cells entering volume production, a record Q4, Cybertruck production commencing, semi-production commencing, Roadster. I'm just going to stop, okay? I think there's a few catalysts, Gordon. Well played, sir.
They have to prove themselves fundamentally now, and I think in 2021, that's gonna come to the forefront, and I think it's going to be difficult.
I too have a 2021 prediction. Ready? I believe that 2021 will be the last year that Gordon Genius Johnson is invited to speak on any of the mainstream finance media networks regarding Tesla stock. It's been a pleasure, Gordon. I do hope that in 2021 we get to see you continue to spout your drivel relating to Tesla stock, but I got a funny feeling your days are numbered. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you live in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 4 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 2 free stocks between $2.50 and $250 each just for opening an account. And if you deposit $100, you'll get a further 2 free stocks valued between $8 and $1,600 each. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.